damage bill.
Fire investigators have advised that the cause of the fire is undetermined. The structural damage at approximately $250,000.
And a huge fire has ripped through a number of villas in the Seminyak area of Bali, forcing Australian tourists to flee. Bailey and his friends lost everything except their passports.
Not exactly sure what happened, but we were out for dinner and on our way back we kind of just could see flames in the distance, and as we were getting closer and closer we just realised our villa was on fire. We're going to head to the embassy and try and get some new passports for the other two, and then I know we're going to have to find some new accommodation somewhere.
Talks between US and Israeli leaders are being described as frank and constructive. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has met Joe Biden and Kamala Harris at the White House. They've discussed the details of a US-led ceasefire deal in Gaza. Kamala Harris says it's a complex conflict which requires a nuanced solution.
Let's get the deal done so we can get a ceasefire to end the war. Let's bring the hostages home, and let's provide much-needed relief to the Palestinian people. And ultimately, I remain committed to a path forward that can lead to a two-state solution.
KG is celebrating a special birthday today, the legendary broadcaster turning 85. He's received hundreds of well wishes, including from a former Prime Minister.
When I saw one from John Howard, his birthday is today, he's 85, like me today, and to see that, I was just gobsmacked. I'm extremely grateful for that, but it's just overwhelming.
Now turning to 5AA sport.
Experience luxury at the Firm Gentlemen's Club, where sophistication meets indulgence. The Firm, North Terrace.
Port meet Carlton at Marvel Stadium tonight. The game will be live on 5AA. The Crows play Hawthorn at home on Sunday. Well, just one win stands between our men's sevens rugby team and an Olympic medal after they stormed into the semi-finals in Paris. They'll now play Fiji on Sunday for a place in the gold medal match. And the stage is set for the Olympic Games opening ceremony. In a break with tradition, it will take place along a stretch of the River Seine. 100 boats carrying more than thousands of athletes and dignitaries. Now checking 5AA traffic.
G'day there at Kent Town. A twisted traffic light due to a crash at the intersection of Decaturville Terrace and Bartels Road. Really heavy in all directions there. Windsor Gardens, a crash North East Road near Pittman Road. Slow for works at Tea Tree Gully. North East Road near Perseverance Road. And busy Port Adelaide 2 for works. Commercial Road near Charlottetown Street. Camera 2 to look out for this afternoon. Crittenden Road at Findon. The Audi demonstrator clearance is on now with exceptional opportunities on select demonstrator models at your Audi dealer until August 31. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota forklift advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
A possible shower this afternoon. Showers easing tomorrow, 13. Sunday cloudy and 14. Monday sunny and 15. Right now it's 17 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Kate Collins. Tonight, Adelaide's mobile phone detection cameras. 31,000 drivers busted in the first month, some of them over and over again. The images that will shock you, plus the disturbing case of an SA teen facing terror charges. Hero neighbours rescue a couple from an Elizabeth Grove fire. And we're live to Paris ahead of the opening ceremony. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and 9 now.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide. The 5AA Sports Show.
Get around the little bar!
Stephen Rowe and Tim Jennifer.
Pick some beauty!
Yeah, good afternoon. 7 after 4. A massive Friday night for you ahead. Friday night footy awaits Port Adelaide and the Blues, and it's opening ceremony night along the River Seine in Paris. It's all thanks to Rusden Wines in the Barossa Valley, home of the Black Gut Shiraz. RusdenWines.com.au, as I say. Good afternoon to Rowey and Tredders.
Thank you, Sammy. We'll give away a bottle for best caller. For all the Tredders fans, sorry it's his last day. And for all the Timmy G fans, he's back Monday. It's his favourite song. Tredders.
When do I get my song?
Well, you're out, he's in. Oh, what a night.
Last Friday, I didn't get an in song.
Oh, sorry. I love this
You're
song.
jealous.
Sorry, Tredders.
I don't really care. I'm happy to
Thanks.
I'm happy to be moving on from Rowey, to be honest.
No, sorry. Thanks for your week, by the
Easier
way.
doing time in Yatla, I reckon.
It's been solid. Jeez,
That's real harsh. Take that back. That's real harsh.
If you picked up the soap, you'd be safe with me, mate.
Oh, now come on.
Did you dump that?
Yeah.
You Did you dump that?
Of course he dumped that.
Did he dump that?
Of course he dumped that.
Well, keep it where it is, mate. Can I start?
Hang on, I have a little poke to the ribs, and you've just done the knockout punch below the belt.
But that's how I roll. So, Timmy back Monday, Tredders.
Yes.
We've loved your week. Can I start with KG's 85th birthday at the Kent Town Hotel? It was a terrific lunch. Great stories. The man is a treasure. We know that, a broadcasting trailblazer. You and I get to sit here because blokes like he did this back in the 60s. He's an icon, and he had a lot of well wishes. Have a listen.
Starting with Ian McLaughlin.
KG, happy birthday. I remember coming out from the southeast to watch you open the bowling for South Australia. I couldn't believe it. You are the slowest opening bowler that ever played for this state or in any country that I've ever watched. England, West Indies, or even here. But happy birthday all the same.
Australian fast bowler Dennis Lilly.
Hi KG, heard it's your 85th birthday, great achievement. Just remember mate, get your head down for the ton. Cheers, Dennis.
Hey KG, Darren Cale here from the greatest tennis court in the world, the Wimbledon Centre Court, to the greatest sporting personality in South Australia. All of us wish you a very happy birthday, KG. 85, bit of a minor miracle. You've made it this far, but congratulations, mate. Well done. Have a great day.
And the Premier, Peter Malinauskas.
Happy birthday, Ken. 85, mate, and still going strong. I'll never forget when I caught up as a young kid on the FIVEAA Sports Show, and you were kind to me, and Cornsey wasn't very kind to me. So you've always had a heart of gold, mate. Hope you're going well.
Yeah, still entertaining at 85, still compelling,
Mate, it's
still
amazing.
the loveliest bloke.
But as you mentioned before, though,
well done.
Without KG going to a Drive Sports Show, no one ever heard of Drive Sports shows before KG did it.
And we're still here.
Yeah.
He's a ripper.
Unbelievable.
So, Cage, have a lovely day, mate. You're a legend. We'll get on to sport. Matildas got smashed by Germany 3-0. Smashed. And I was worried pre-game. We had an interview yesterday with a former Matilda, and I said, oh, God, it's alarm bells. I'm a bit concerned. And it worked out that way. Here's our Matildas coach, Tony Gustafsson.
I guess there's a lot of disappointed fans up there. They might not thought it was worth going up, but I promise you it's worth it because these players feel it and need it. What we need to do now is learn from this game, delete it as soon as possible, have 2 games to prepare for Zambia, and hopefully we can make more people back home proud after that game.
Too nice, Goofy. Honestly, that was a complete flogging. Maybe, just maybe. I'm just maybe, Tredders. Chartered flights, flash hotels, limousine service. They've got all their kids there. Have they got a touch of buffetitis? Are they drinking their own bath water?
I wouldn't have thought so.
Have they got a head of
Would you
themselves?
think but as they say, publicly support, privately rip shreds off if they haven't performed well?
They were awful.
Yeah, well, that happens. And also, too, what they say, who's up next they're taking on?
We've got Zambia.
And then you've got the United States,
the
who are arguably the best
USA,
team in the world.
Yeah, Thursday, top 2 go through. I still believe, I've never been a big fan of Goof, but I am a believer of the Matildas. I love watching them. Asked me, did I get up at 2:30?
Did you?
No, I didn't.
You talked a good game, didn't you?
I
Did I get up at 2:30? Was never getting up. I didn't promise anything.
But, you know, the first thing, I get up at 5:30. The first thing I did was found out whether they won or lost. So I got the Google out. Oh, you're kidding, 3-0. I was flat. Are you kidding? And then I listened to Rennie in the morning with 5AA Brekkie. Oh, they got smoked through. Oh, my God. Come on, girls.
It's okay. There's another chance.
Fickle. Speak with Channel 9's Eddie McGuire after 5. The opening ceremony, 2:30 a.m. tomorrow, our time. He's going to be the host. So I love speaking to Eddie, and he's been rehearsing his French as I have. So
How have you been going?
Oh, I'm halfway through. I've been rehearsing this for 3 hours.
Well, start
and
it.
then you've just pleuvi, pleufort, pleufava on Australia.
Oh. Did you make that up?
What?
Is that actually a word?
Hang on.
Hey,
What's that? What was that?
That's faster, higher, stronger. Go Australia.
Say it again. Say it again.
Pleuvi, pleufort, pleuvavan on Australia.
You changed it the second time
No,
round.
I didn't.
That's rubbish. Have a listen to this.
Plus rapide, plus haut, plus fort. Go Australie.
Well, close.
Better. That's better.
Tredders, close.
You're in downtown Paris and you say that to someone, what would they think you said?
Yeah, well, I rehearsed the other one. So people that have been overseas, whether it's Italian, French, whatnot, you put English into Italian or English into French, and I put a couple of swear words in there, and I was going to come back to you with that, but I thought, well, 65-plussers won't like that, and I'd get dumped for the second time, so I haven't done it.
Yes.
But I feel like telling you to Afonse an exciting chance for Port tonight. And I mean this.
And this is the big challenge, though, for you with Parlez-vous Anglais.
Yeah, I know what that means.
What does it mean?
Yeah, go fourth and multiply?
No, it doesn't. It said, do you ever speak English, Stephen?
Okay. No, okay. Let's move on. Come on. An exciting chance for Port tonight.
Oh, it's a massive game.
That's how I'm billing it. They take on Carlton, 2 in, 2 out. I think Port's best is better than Carlton's. My only question, now we were going to speak to Ken Hinkley about this, but he's got Channel 7 commitment, so we'll speak to CD live from the game, which is just brilliant. We love that. Can they do it for long enough tonight?
That
is my only question.
That is the question. And against the top 4 team, which is another challenge in itself.
Yeah, I hope they can.
As I keep saying, the opportunity is there. If you're good enough. It's about time we show we're good enough.
Yeah. Here's Ken Hinkley on how important the game is.
Gives us a chance. Just gives us a chance to improve our position in this season. That's all it does. It doesn't guarantee the week after or the week after. I mean, we surely are all used to seeing the results go up and down all over the place.
It is that tight.
It is.
Now, if other teams win and you lose, you can drop to 9th or 10th after this game.
Well, there's two wins, 8 points between 11th and 2nd.
That's exactly right.
And this is the other bit too, because you look at the last time Port played, they got belted in stoppage the last quarter. 8 goals, 3. 8 goals, 2-3 in the last quarter. Got smacked in clearances, 15-6. So you know what the measuring stick is. You're going to have to be better. And to draw on a positive, Port's 10 from 11 games at Marvel. So you go there with no fears, but the reality is you're going to have to play your best to win.
You'll win by 2+ goals. If you lose, but tonight I think top 4, see you later. Put a fork in it, cook, you can't get there. That's how important
which one
I think it is. I think you win. I've said it all week.
Don't even talk about the other one.
Okay, done. Good. Crows v Hawthorn, Sunday twilight. Crows fans are on what we're calling Dan Curtin watch. Dawson's out. Is Dan Curtin in? He's one of the possible subs. The club's star pick 8, and he was back then playing. The team will drop at 4:30, so stay with us. You'll hear it here first. We know Butts, Murray, Dawson and Himmelberg are out. Ball ace, Tex, Chase Jones. Who's the other one? And I think it can only be out of Worrell or Curtin. So I'm going Curtin.
Well, I look at that. So you've got Butts, defender. And who's replaced him?
Ball ace.
Right. Then who's out again?
Dawson.
Dawson, midfielder. Who's replaced him as a midfielder?
Well, no one yet.
That's your answer. Has to be mid.
Murray for Chase Jones. They've gone a bit small, and I get that.
That's still defender
small.
for defender.
And Tex for Himmelberg.
That's a forward v forward. It has to be a midfielder.
I hope so. Here's Josh Rochelle on 5AA Brecky.
Pretty similar to the Essendon game last week. We had that in the back of our minds of how that panned out after the result. So, but yeah, we knew we played poor at the MCG last time against Hawthorn, and it's going to be an exciting game. Hawthorn are the team to beat at the moment. They've got some great characters in their forward line. Some guys I really admire the way they go about their footy, and their camaraderie at the moment seems like a pretty cool club to be a part of. So it'd be great to knock them off.
Yeah, well done. Look forward to it. 3:40 live on AA. Who's with me? Dan Curtin's in 8223000. And who else is with me? Port by 2 goals plus. Got that bottle of Black Guts Shiraz to give away thanks to Rusden Wines.
We certainly do. Chris Davies from Port Adelaide soon. Eddie McGuire live in Paris. He'll be hosting the opening ceremony coverage on 9. We have Jade Rawlings and Terry McAuliffe, and we'll relive a bit of KG's 85th birthday conversations with Cornsey, which was airing earlier today on 5AA. It was a fantastic day. Lots of great stories. We'll hear from the great man KG. 17 minutes after 4. Get your calls on the air next for that Rusden Black Guts. 8223 0000.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Catch Stacey Lee each week on 5AA Breakfast as she shares her views about what's going on in SA with David and Will. Thanks to Keen. With tax returns imminent, now is the time to upgrade your office furniture. KeenOffice.com.au.
Eliminate the middleman with JB Caravans. JB Caravans are a factory direct caravan dealership, and they're having their grand opening sale on now till Sunday. Check out full off-road hybrids from $79,990 and Aussie-made touring vans from $74,990. As well as incredible deals on off-road vans, Iveco motorhomes and cash and carry gear. Don't miss JB Caravan's grand opening sale on now and Sunday. 11 to 37 Port Wakefield Road, Jeps Cross, or visit jbcaravans.com.au.
Drums, please. Unprecedented, unparalleled, unrivaled. For the very first time, Edwardstown Mazda is offering discounts greater than 10% on all Mazda demonstrator models. Every demo, every model with a minimum discount of 10%. Plus a minimum trade-in of $2,000 on your old vehicle. This offer is exclusive to Edwardstown Mazda.
It's gotta be
Edwardstown Mazda, the #1 destination for Mazda in SA.
Rowey, we love rumours, right? But all of a sudden, a rumour becomes a fact because the steakhouse stack today is no longer a rumour. This epic burger has finally launched at Macca's.
How good's this? It's an epic stack of beef, cheese, lettuce, golden crispy onions, creamy peppercorn mayo. It's pretty spectacular.
It absolutely.
Spectacular. Try the new steakhouse stack at Macca's.
It's worth repeating, though.
Today.
The hearty winner indulges features 2 100% Aussie beef patties, creamy peppercorn mayo, crispy onions, red onions, shredded lettuce, 2 slices of Aussie jack cheese, all served on a toasty gourmet bun.
It's a pretty big deal. It is a great deal. So try it today at Macca's, available from 10:30am onwards for a limited time. It excludes McDelivery. I'm telling you, we all love Macca's.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Unfold your story with Galaxy AI on the new Samsung Galaxy Z series. The Galaxy Z Fold 6 and Z Flip 6 have big battery power for creating and playing. They both feature a slim dynamic screen that flips up or folds out. It has a new hinge, screen, powerful camera and Galaxy AI to drive on-the-fly language translation or edit photos. Pre-order the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6 and Fold 6 before the 31st of July and receive a $400 Harvey Norman gift card and 1 year of Samsung Care Plus valued at $229 via redemption. Prices start from $1,799 for the Samsung Flip and $2,749 for the Fold at Harvey Norman. Terms and conditions apply.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
Feel good health catch on with Bupa. Get up to 10 weeks free when you join Bupa on eligible products. T's and C's apply. For award-winning health insurance, search Bupa 10 weeks free today.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
End of the year will tell you. That's what I always say. I'll wait till the end of the season and see where we sit, and that'll give you an indication as to whether we're capable of being with the very best teams in the competition.
It's 20 after 4, Ken Hinkley. Big night tonight for the Power. They're at Marvel against Carlton. We love your calls. 8223 0000. Rusden Blackgut Shiraz up for grabs for our best caller tonight. Chris Davies will join us live from Marvel very shortly ahead of that big game. Timmy G will be back here on Monday. Tredders stepping in before we check your traffic for Rossdale Homes, the custom home, 2-story, split-level specialists.
G'day there at Kent Town. Twisted traffic line due to a crash at the intersection of Decatterville Terrace and Bartels Road. Pretty solid delays around there still. Another smash at Windsor Gardens, North East Road near Pittman Road. Slow for works at Treachery Gully, North East Road near Perseverance Road. And also busy at Morfordville for works, Morford Road near Maxwell Terrace. Camera the Savo, Gorge Road at Paracombe. Beaumont's clearance, Richmond is closing. Get a white vanity with a free bass and mixer, not $850, slashed to just $499. Everything massively reduced at Beaumont's final clearance, Richmond. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Love your calls. Got that bottle of Rusden Black Guts to give away. Let's go to Walkerville, Chris.
Yeah, g'day, boys. Before I make my point, I just wanted to say well done today to 5AA. That was a really good day. I attended that, and it was really good to see KG, and I just thought it was really well done, and yeah, good on you. Just want to talk about Daniel Curtin. We moved heaven and earth last year to get him, to trade for him. I think we upgraded picks to get him. We know he's a talent. We know he's got that weapon, that lethal left foot. We are kidding ourselves if we think we can make the finals. We need about 50 things to go right for us to make the finals, which isn't going to happen. So why don't we just play him? I know Nixie's played a few kids lately. You know, we've seen Zach Taylor and Dowling and Bond, and that's great. But let's get him in there in the last 5 weeks, Rowey, and just see what he can do.
Well, I've got him in there because last month his body of work's great. He's played 2 games. He deserves an opportunity. That's number one. A player has come out that's similar to him, left-footed, can play forward, can play back. It's a 1-for-1. It's a midfield. For me, it's a no-brainer. I get Nixie and the group to be thinking, well, we've got to have a balance between, experience and youth. Matt Crouch is lining up in the sample this week. Yeah. It was either him for experience, which you debated, and rightly so, or Dan Curtin. I think he has to come in. Now, Chris, we didn't upgrade for that pick. That was just a straight, ended up being a pick 9.
But the reality is his form's good enough in the sample.
I think it
He's
is.
coming in good form. The Matt Crouch discussion really was, can he come in after a month out? Well, he could, but that's not best for him.
Yeah.
Why not play the kid? Yeah,
Well,
and it's not like you're going, I'm going to
I
have
think
to
they
play an
will.
extra defender or an extra forward.
No.
The game is about midfielders and being able to play multiple positions. He ticks that box.
Well, and they haven't let them down, the young lads that have come
That's
in.
been
Bond's
the difference.
great.
That's been the spike.
100%. 100%. Chris, I'm with you. Stay with us. You'll hear it here first at 4:30. It's at a Curtin, Worrell or McHenry. Hello, Nick.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good on you, Nick.
Tredders, I think I told you before, you were my favourite player when you played.
Sorry, what was that, Nick?
Tredders was my favourite player when you were playing.
Thank you, Nick.
Flattery will get you everywhere,
Just
Nick.
repeat it again for me, mate, if you could.
Got a pair.
Good man. You like their chances tonight?
Listen, I think so, man. Listen, a couple of weeks ago, some gentleman, he was talking about suggesting the players to wear in protective gear.
Yep.
Some of the players already wear, and they look silly. Is it possible if the coaches and the league get tough on the players to play the ball, not to play the men? Because most of the injuries, when I watch the games, most of the injuries occur when the player is not even near the ball, Tredders.
Yeah, there's an element of that, mate. Nick, the interesting discussion around protective gear, I reckon that phone call was earlier in the week or even a couple of weeks ago. Maybe it was Caleb Daniel was talked about how he's worn it his whole career. His mum made him wear a helmet. We talked about too, I've spoken to Port Adelaide's Dr. Mark Fisher and many doctors about this. Dr. Peter Larkins, who's a well-known sports professional and doctor, and they say that the headgear doesn't actually prevent concussion. No. It's more the abrasion or the collision. The whiplash is the concussion issue. So maybe it might be a thing if you've had multiple concussions that the AFL might say, hey, you'll have to wear this if you want to continue playing. It's interesting too, as we know about these long-term contracts that are handed out, if you've had multiple concussions, I think the limit now for clubs in some cases is actually 3-year payout. So that does restrict clubs, for example, that I don't want to call it this way, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it's like the Angus Brayshaw rule. Did a 5 or so year extension at Melbourne, sadly through concussion in the last collision he had with Maynard in that final. He's no longer able to play the game. That's where the AFL's trying to put their stamp on things in terms of signing up long-term contracts, knowing people have had certain issues. Whilst you control the issues on the field, you don't want to be caught financially having to pay out significant periods of your or portions of your salary cap as well. So it's an interesting discussion. Maybe I think it's a sit, wait and watch because there's no doubt that's sitting in the back pocket the AFL to say they may enforce it in certain cases.
We'll keep taking your calls, 8223 0000, that Rusden Blackcut Shiraz to give away. Just a quick one on Chris's call moments ago, how the Crows traded up to get Dan Curtin a pick 8. They actually did receive pick 8 from GWS, so they did a couple of pick swaps in order to receive it. Yeah, I think the Crows had pick 11 and 15. They swapped around pick 8 they received from the Giants.
And then they ended up at 9 because they bidded for someone with a father-son or NGA the pick before, wasn't it?
And Brisbane had 4 NGAs in the first round, so it would have been involved in pushing that down.
No, thank you. Good call, and keep the calls coming in. I know the Crows have picked Bond and Dowling and Nankervis and Taylor, and they've been playing them all since round 15, so there's been a shift. And the coaches, especially the development coaches, would know the trajectory of Dan Curtin far more than me. You know, it's easy for me to say, he's played really well in the last 3 games. Dawson's out, let's put him in. So I thought I'd have a look at the 2023 top 10 draft picks.
Yeah.
Harley Reid has played 15 games.
Can go all right, that kid.
Colby Kirch has played 12.
Yep.
Number 3, Jed Walter, played 12.
Yep.
Zane Dersma, out at Bombers.
Kangaroos. No, he's
Kangaroos, sorry, has played 10.
Yep.
Nick Watson, the little hawk boy, 170 centimetres, he's played 11. You know where I'm going with this, don't you?
Yes.
Riley Sanders has played 14. Caleb Windsor at 7's played 18. In at 8, Dan Curtin, 2.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
I know what you're saying. It's not fair, though.
No, correct.
But what I will say for the Adelaide Footy Club,
no excuse.
Whoever's in your development department, when you've had so many young guys come in and make an influence on the game, and the team is now winning, wonder if they're getting contract extensions because your development's been really good.
Well,
you've turned good draftees or kids with opportunities into A-grade players in the space of a month.
Yeah.
And playing and holding their own.
Yeah, well, he's played 2. Let's hope it's 3 this week.
4:30 headlines are coming up. Chris Davies will join us from Marvel Stadium shortly ahead of Friday Night Footy.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G.
Catch all the action from the Olympic Games in Paris as 5AA brings you Nines coverage live each evening from 11:30. Don't miss a minute of the action as our Aussie stars set their sights on gold medal glory. Tune in tonight following Leith Forest as we cross to France for Nines coverage. Paris 2024, live from 11:30 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Need a truck, van, car, ute, hybrid, 12 to 25 seater bus or something else? Budget Car and Truck Rental have you sorted. Plus trolleys, trailers, boxes, furniture covers, tapes, blankets and many other accessories. Whatever the job, Budget is your one-stop shop. With multiple locations across Metro and regional SA, it couldn't be easier. Budget Car and Truck Rental. Get to the good stuff. Call 13 27 27 or visit budget.com.au.
Head south as the all-new GWM Cannon Alpha has arrived at Southgate GWM Ranella. Larger, smarter and gutsier than ever. Australia's first ever full hybrid ute with a combined 255 kilowatts and 648 newton metres. Also available in a turbo diesel engine with 135 kilowatts and 480 newton metres. All with 3,500 kilo brake towing capacity. Head down to Southgate GWM, 49 Main South Road, Ranella.
It's Milton from Vidaulis Garden Centre. This Sunday, Vidaulis Garden Centre is closing its doors for the final time. All stock must be cleared at up to 50% off. Save on plants, pots, save on gifts, homewares and outdoor furniture. Vidaulis Garden Centre is closing down this Sunday. Come in and grab a bargain while stocks last. Main North Road, Gawler, opposite the racecourse.
McGuire Real Estate, they want to help you with the most important asset, Rowey, in your life, your kids.
Well, they are.
Absolutely they are.
You can see I was a bit distracted there.
You're a
I'm
bit
sorry
rattled.
to McGuire. I'm looking at, because I want to see the team drop, to see Dan Curtin's name drop. So stay with us. Should happen any minute now. We all know it's tough right now. Look, it is. But with the highest interest rates we've experienced in the last few years and house prices still booming, it's the perfect time to build and plan for your kids' future, because the increased equity in your home could get your kids into theirs.
Yeah, and imagine being able to help your kids get into their first home. So why not talk to the friendly and knowledgeable team at McGuire right away? They have the way to make it happen.
Harris Scarf clearance sale is on now. That's right, massive clearance sale on now. Save big on bedding, kitchen, electrical and women and men's clothing. Deals won't last, so hurry before it's gone. Exclusions apply. Harris Scarf, great brands, great prices.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Good afternoon, Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. A 15-year-old girl from Country SA is in a stable condition in hospital after being diagnosed with meningococcal disease. A teenage boy will remain in custody for now after fronting the youth court charged with extremist offences. A man and woman in their 70s have serious but non-life-threatening injuries after a house fire at Elizabeth Grove. And in sport, the pressure is building for Australia's swimmers ahead of their first night in the pool in Paris tomorrow. Now checking 5AA traffic.
G'day there, got a couple of crashes to look out for on the drive home today. You'll find one at Kent Town and a twisted traffic light at the intersection of Decatterville Terrace and Bartels Road. Windsor Gardens, another collision, North East Road near Pittman Road. Slow for works at Mawson Lake, Salisbury Hoe near Eldersmith Road. And busy Brighton Road, Brighton near the Foodland for works. Got a Canberra 2, Dawes Road at Door Park. Dan Murphy's don't match prices, they beat them. Woodstock, Bourbon and Cola, 6%, 375ml cans. 10-pack, $41 for members. Ends Sunday. Choose to drink wise. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, a possible shower tonight down to 8, showers easing tomorrow 13. Right now it's 16. We'll have more news at 5 and as it happens on 5AA.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Yeah, coming off a good result,
there's a chance we may stay a little taller ahead of the ball. We've got to be mindful of what that then exposes a little, and that's your forward pressure. If you don't clunk the ball ahead or mark the ball when you're going in, it's a little harder to keep it in your forward half.
27-5, Eddie McGuire live in Paris after 5 o'clock. That's Matthew Nicks. The Crows team has just dropped.
Well, it has. Before we go to Chris Davies out at Marvel, Murray's out, Butt's out, Dawson out, we know that. In Jones, Ball-Ace, Walker. Matty Nicks was true to his word. He's kept Himmelberg in. We all thought maybe Himmelberg for Walker. Forward of the ball, Himmelberg, Thilthorpe, Fogarty, Walker. They're going to need to clunk the gizzards out of that. And the other big news, no Dan Curtin.
Nope.
Here, there is no Dan Curtin.
Nope.
Have you say 822 300 00. Got that Rusden Blackgut Shiraz to give away. We're blessed to have an official on game day. Port, well, for me, have an exciting opportunity tonight to beat a quality side away. On their deck, that they average 107 points per game. It is Friday night footy. That is exciting. Joining us is Port's GM of footy, Chris Davies. CD, welcome.
Stephen, thank you. Blessed might be an overstatement, but I'm happy to be here.
Well,
nonetheless.
Super sub.
I think we double booked Ken, so we've got you CD, and I'm happy with that. Hey, I used the word exciting. What word have you got for tonight's game?
No, it's a great opportunity, Stephen. As you've said, the reality is our season is in a position where we're in a pack of teams that are going to distinguish themselves over the next few weeks. So we've got a great opportunity tonight.
I think your best is better than Carlton's. My only question is, can you bring it for 4 quarters?
I think that's a reasonable discussion considering the way that we've played over the last month or so. Our challenge tonight is clear, is to match them on the inside and be good enough with the ball when we get it to be a bit more dynamic than maybe what we've been in the games where we have been poor this year. Now we think we've started to get a better balance in our game, and certainly adding Rowey and Georgiadis into the team last week was helpful, but there's no doubt that challenge is ahead of us.
Chris, last time you played, it was a really close game to three-quarter time, 8 goals to 3 in the last quarter. Their midfield got on top. Do you need to look at what you do differently? Would you tag? Obviously, they've got a few blokes out in their engine room in DeConing and Acres, but is that something you'll consider for tonight?
Yeah, it is, Warren. I mean, the DeConing thing will, change the dynamic, inside, definitely. A jumping ruckman in comparison to a bit more of a wrestling type with Pittenay coming in. And, I'd expect that Willem Drew will pay, some attention to, Carlton's best mids. But, I think overall, as I mentioned earlier, our challenge is, that game last time against Carlton wasn't played in the way that we would want. So even though the game was quite close for 3 quarters, it was a bit more up and back than I think we would like. So, we've got a challenge there to get the game, more on our terms. And as I say, I think we've had better balance in, our ability to move the ball over the last month. But that will be tested against, Carlton, who are, performing reasonably well as well.
And to take that further, the turnover game looks like it's starting to come back because obviously the stoppage game's been pretty strong, but turnovers early part of the season was a struggle. But the last month or so, you turned the ball over in better positions to then relaunch for scores from the outside. Yeah,
that's right. I mean, the game is really about how well you're able to fend off of turnover and also score when you get the opportunity to turn the ball over. And we've put some time into where that's happening. So obviously for us, we want it as up the field as we possibly can. And as I say, we started to get a little bit better with regard to scores from turnover, even though we haven't defended fantastically. So we've still got some work to do in our game, and I guess that's where you come back to what Stephen mentioned earlier, is that if we're able to turn on our best, then we should be more than well and truly in the hunt.
And helping that too is the Marvel record, 10 wins from your last 11 games. What's the key to playing good footy under the roof?
Well, I think the loss that we had was against Carlton here last year. So, for us, it's very much about matching the opposition team inside in the midfield battle. And historically we have been able to move the ball pretty well at Marvel. So, again, that will be our opportunity and our challenge tonight.
They average 107 points a game under the lid this year. Is it first to 100 wins for you?
Yeah, I think we would like to be able to score and also defend them well, Stephen. And I think, if you reflect back on that game at Adelaide Oval, Patrick Cripps, got off the chain, during the game, and Walsh coming up to stoppage from half forward was a pretty big impact in the game also. So there are some things that we learned from that game, and there's no doubt that we're going to have to be better than what we were there to be able to compete with Carlton. But equally, we think we've got a great chance tonight, and it's an opportunity for our club to take another step forward.
Yeah, well, I remember that last quarter. They got 8 goals. I think Cripps kicked 2, 7 of them from stoppage. I can't see that happening again. Who's your second ruck tonight?
Well, I mean, Charlie did it pretty well last week, against an undersized ruckman. So, I think that Charlie will be the first one that gets the opportunity. I guess we've got some other players who can potentially go through there, and we've used, Ollie a little bit around the ground as well. But, I think it's fair to say that right now Charlie will be the second ruck.
Jason Horne-Francis and Zach Butters, got to love these two. They play on the red line. This game's hard enough to play without having to worry about getting a fine or an MRO. How do you encourage that endeavour at grunt and competitiveness and balance it off with, transgressing, CD? Fair dinkum. I don't want to see them change their game, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, that's the exact conversation that we had with Zach this week. Really, is you don't want him frustrated enough that he's putting himself in situations where he can potentially be suspended. But equally, I don't want to be overarching too much of his life that he can't spend his money where he wants to. So, I wouldn't mind him not getting fined, to be honest, because it puts him in that realm of being suspended. But there is a balance in all of this, Stephen, and I know that you have historically been a guy who has, loved those players, putting their head over the ball, but equally, being a little bit antagonistic as well. And that, is the balance that these players nowadays have got to face. I mean, I guess, Jason Horne-Francis, as good as he's been, he's, done some silly things as well over time that, he's tidying up. And as a young player, he's acknowledged that he's got to be better. But I would far prefer neither of them put themselves in the MRO's gun, but equally, I certainly don't want to be the one who is, changing, the things that make Zach and Jason players that we, you and I and many others love to actually watch compete.
Chris, you'll get another look at it tonight, Zach, because Cincotta went to him last time and really worked him over. It was a really good contest. So, what better chance than to prove it against quality opposition?
Yeah, that's exactly right, and I guess start of Zach's a little bit of a flat patch was that game against Carlton last time, and again the best players in the comp go through these patches where they've actually got to work through those tags, and just as the good players across the competition have been able to do, I'm sure that Zach will be in the same boat. I'm sure that Zach will also want to raise his colours against a player that's done pretty well on him in the last game. And I expect, Zach with Connor and Jace in a bit more form than what they were the last time we played, and Drewy and Ollie as well. And we can't forget, Ollie Wines' importance to that midfield group. If they can get on top, then that will go, a large way to us being successful tonight.
Willem Drew's 100th, we better quickly mention that. He's everyone's favourite. You want a Willem Drew in your team. A couple of them would be great. Has he already got his name on the locker? How quick do you get that 100 up there, CD?
We'll make sure it gets on there by next week. But as you say, Stephen, he's the type of guy that, we saw some videos of some people who, played with him along the way and people from other clubs who, certainly giving him a pump up. And he's one of those guys that, as you say, he's everyone's favourite internally. He may not get some of the plaudits that he probably deserves outside, but he's willing to do a job and do anything that Ken and the team need him to do on a week-by-week basis. So we love him.
Okay, this is just your opinion, CD. We won't hold you to it. I know there's secrecies with all of this. Because I'd put him to Cripps. You would put him to Cripps. Who are you putting him to, CD? Walsh or Cripps?
I said Walsh.
Oh, did you? Sorry.
I think he'll spend time on both, to be honest. I think the reality is that we'll play some part of it where we're going head to head, but there's no doubt that if one of them gets off the chain, then we'll send him to whoever it is.
Done. I think it's an exciting night ahead for your team against quality over there. Friday night footy. Good luck, and thanks for your time. Game day, CD. Brilliant.
Good on you guys. Thank you.
Well done. Chris Davies there in for Ken Hickley. He was double booked with seven trump us, rightly
The
so.
broadcaster pays a little bit more than us.
Well,
We
yeah,
pay a lot.
we're-
They
we're-
pay a lot more than a
We're
lot.
freeloaders. I can't say I'm confident, but your best is better than theirs.
And you know when you're looking at a bit of homework for the call,
Yeah.
I forgot Rosie didn't play last time.
There you go.
Ankle.
There you go. Can you? Well, I'll do it like this: 82230000. Port supporters, are you with me? Quietly confident. Rusden Blackgut Shrez. Not that I don't rate Carlton. Their best is okay. Port's is better. Who thinks that Port Adelaide will dish up a quarter where the opposition kick 8 goals, where a midfielder kicks 2 of them in crips, gets off the chain and just destroys you, and 7 of the 8 are from stoppage? That ain't going to happen, and
Not
they'll
happening
need to
again.
do that to win.
It's not happening again.
But that's what I'm saying. Port by plenty. 8-2-2.
Plenty?
Oh, 2 goals, I think. Cue the thunderclouds.
Mate, I'll take a point.
Well, it's 4. Oh, I'm telling you, you lose tonight, you can't make the top 4.
Positive, I told you. You just said 2
You
goals.
win.
Finish at that. Don't say if,
Yep,
buts, maybes, candy nuts, all that.
Whew, Port fans, how you feel after
Jeez.
that? Port by plenty. It is 16 minutes to 5. We've
That's
got
putting the
time
miles
for
on
your
us, isn't
calls
it?
straight after this for that Rusden Blackgut Shiraz. Let's check your roads.
G'day there. Kent Town, a twisted traffic light due to a crash at the intersection of Decateville Terrace and Bartels Road. Still quite heavy there. Another collision at Windsor Gardens, North East Road near Pittman Road. Slow for works this afternoon at Mitchell Park, Marion Road near Sturt Road. And quite busy at the moment, Brighton Road at Brighton near Foodland. That's for works. Got a camera at the moment, McGill Road at McGill. South Australia, winter, our way. With a last-minute getaway. Unplug from boredom and reignite your sense of adventure. Visit southaustralia.com/holiday-deals. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Treadway, second chance, goal!
Port Adelaide straight shooter Warren Treadray talks footy with Rowey and Timmy every Friday thanks to Ignition for Men. For top brand tailored fitted men's suits and casual wear, see Ignition for Men, 54 Paynham Road, Stepney.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Unfold your story with Galaxy AI on the new Samsung Galaxy Z series. The Galaxy Z Fold 6 and Z Flip 6 have big battery power for creating and playing. They both feature a slim dynamic screen that flips up or folds out. It has a new hinge, screen, powerful camera and Galaxy AI to drive on-the-fly language translation or edit photos. Pre-order the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6 and Fold 6 before the 31st of July and receive a $400 Harvey Norman gift card and 1 year of Samsung Care Plus valued at $229 via redemption. Prices start from $1,799 for the Samsung Flip and $2,749 for the Fold at Harvey Norman. Terms and conditions apply.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
Eliminate the middleman with JB Caravans. JB Caravans are a factory direct caravan dealership and they're having their grand opening sale on now till Sunday. Check out full off-road hybrids from $79,990 and Aussie-made touring vans from $74,990, as well as incredible deals on off-road vans, Iveco motorhomes and cash and carry gear. Don't miss JB Caravans grand opening sale on now and Sunday. 11 to 37 Port Wakefield Road, Jeps Cross, or visit jbcaravans.com.au.
Oh, warm up this winter with a few coldies, a cold Coopers, thanks to Sip and Save. Whether it's a stout, a sparkling, a pale ale, a
How
summer
many
ale.
different ones have they got?
Oh, I grew up drinking this. I was weaned on it. Well, I was. I'm a Nord man.
I know.
They're Leebrook site. We used to live down there in the cellar.
Yeah, well, why
Used to
would
get
you?
it straight out the vat. Here there was no hose, just straight in. Straight in the gob, bang, Sip and Save.
The good news is, other than when Rowey used to do it, you can purchase any participating Coopers 24-pack at Sip and Save and you'll get a token, right? So collect 3 tokens and then you get to redeem one of the Coopers rugby jumper that is in store with 6 different colours. You got them all sprawled all over your desk, Rowey. This fluoro, geez, they're bright. They're good.
Well, we do, and each winter, the old Coopers polos go out and the new rugby ones come in. I love them. How easy is that? And get this, right now, Pale Ale or Pacific Pale Ale, 24
Pacific's
packs.
the blue one, yeah?
That's it.
That's the one.
$57.99. That's each at Sip and Save.
And you can always expect more at Sip and Save, more deals, more range, and most importantly, more service.
Sip and Save, there's much more in store, no question. Only available while stocks last. T's and C's apply. Drink responsibly. For all details, visit sipandsave.com.au.
G'day, it's Rory Sloan. Schools, councils and businesses all over South Australia choose Leader Computers for very important reasons. Leader is local and offers exceptional value. No matter what happens, Leader can be on site to fix your problem. No overseas or interstate call centres to deal with. Plus, Leader Computers is a 100% owned and operated South Australian company, offering fast same-day delivery and setup. Grow your business and get behind a Leader. Find your local dealer at leadersystems.com.au.
It's our first Christmas in July at Wayville Hyundai, and we're inviting you to join us by popping a gift under our Christmas tree for Kickstart for Kids. Together, we can help. Change the way you Hyundai at Wayville Hyundai, opposite the showground.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Welcome back. It is 11 minutes to 5. The Olympic opening ceremony in Paris tonight. It's 2:30 a.m. if you're willing to get up on Channel 9. Eddie McGuire is there. He's going to join us live after the 5 o'clock news.
Port Adelaide by plenty, have you say. The Ruston Blackguts is up for grabs. No Dan Curtin. Here, there is no Dan Curtin. Jones in, Ball Ace in, Walker in, out Dawson, Butts, Murray. Four to the ball, Thilthorpe, Fogarty, Himmelberg, Walker. Now, I know what you're going to say. Not all four are going to be on the field at the same time, but that is still a massive, massive call. I just assume Himmelberg out, Walker in, and Dan Curtin would come in as a midfielder and play half-back, but it's not happening. So have your say about that. As we know, Crows take on Hawthorn 3:40 Sunday. Crows since the round 15 bye, I think they've been terrific. Not just win-loss, the way they're going about their footy. Clearly they've had a reset with selection. I've spoken about that, or a philosophy change. I'll do it. Nankervis went back, was on the wing. Berry midfield, he was the sub. Dowling on the wing, he was a half-forward. Zach Taylor's got an opportunity, hasn't disappointed, nor too Bond. And given responsibility, did a tag job just the week before. Fogg's kicked 20 since round 14 and Thilthorpe's back in the team. Now that's a massive shift, I think, in selection thinking and confidence, and rewarded with results. And obviously beating Bombers away last Friday night, I thought it was superb. It was on pure grit. By the numbers, they shouldn't have won. Some people will call that fool's gold, but God, that was a great win. Here again is Matty Nix. No, we don't have him. And you can't measure grit, can you? You just cannot measure grit. Well, but it's what Matty Nix has, isn't it? It's his
you can see
DNA.
You can, but you can see it. You know, can you measure it? You go, well, is it contested ball? Is it tackling? Is it pressure? You can see when your team's having a crack.
Yeah. And they have a crack.
Absolutely.
And Port Adelaide know well about that. Now, the midfield battle for me on Sunday is the key. And if you look at Hawthorn in the last 3 years, their strategy has been midfield talent. Their strategy has been rebuild this list with midfielders. And they've certainly done that. Newcombe, Warple, Nash. He's 198 centimetres.
He's a big unit. And you got Big Meek, who's the ruckman, who they went and got from Perth, I think. He was third deep at Freo, was he? I think, by memory. Yep.
Day, who's an Adelaide Landon star,
he's
Moore, McDonald, etc. So I think if it is a midfield battle, I look at my midfield battle and I think what could have been. And it's dangerous to have a rear view mirror. But I've just done it just for today. If Crows had built from what I call a midfield wins flags strategy instead of a your next talent, like you got a talent order, let's just stick to our talent order. And that has been their strategy. There'd be no Jake Lever or Mitch McGovern in 2014. And by the way, both of them have left. No Duday in 2014. By the way, he left. Gallucci in 2016. Well, you know how that turned out. And you go through to 2017. You got Warple instead of McPherson. 2018, no Chase Jones and Ned McHenry. You would have got Zach Butters and James Rowbottom. 2019, no Fisher Maxey. You got Hayden Young. So the midfield for the Crows. Now, every team can do this. I know
you want the footy mulligan. You want to grab your ball and have another swing.
No, but hang on. Just hear me out. I know every team can do this, but I call it the lost years. And the lost years are from 2014 to 2019. Now, you name another team.
2014 aren't lost years. You played in grand final in 17.
You're not listening.
I'm listening.
Some of those players would have played in that grand final, but you build for a grand final over a greater period of time. Where we are here because of the lost years, and I've just mentioned the names, between 2014 and 2019. So hear me out. Here's the Crows midfield if they had got all those selections right, and their strategy was midfields win flags.
Yeah.
This is the team. This would be the midfield that the Crows would have this Sunday. And again, all I'll say is every team can do it, but not as bad as this. Hayden Young, James Rowbottom, James Warple, Zach Bailey, Took Miller, and Zach Butters. And your ruckman would have been Tim English.
Yeah, I get that.
You hear what I'm saying?
Point. I get your point. But when you say those years, you already had a team that had, 2012 was your first year? You still had Dangerfield then. You still had a young Sloan. Your grand final in 17 had Laird at half-back, Crouch, All-Australian best and founds, Crouch, the other Crouch at Jet, and Sloan arguably the best two-way runner mid in the comp.
Yeah.
When you got that good, you're then complementing to win. So you go away from the draft. You're more trading, you're more free agents, you're more adding to the mix. Your problem you had post then was what fell apart. That's where you had to get your draft right.
Yeah.
But I get that. And that puts pressure on your list management and your recruiters. But it's not as simple as saying, hey, because we could all pick a delisted or a GWS player's shed. Hoskin Elliott, Cameron, Patton. Like you could pick a team that's unbelievable in isolation. But I get there have been some misses in the draft that have seriously cost you. But what we're saying now, this last 6 weeks, which you're talking about, you've actually hit some boxes and ticked some players. I didn't know much about Cook. I didn't know much about, Michelani went straight into the team and's played really well, but not everyone goes through that process. And young Curtin, as frustrating as for Crows fans who've just blown up our text line, they want to see him play, it's time. It's going to be time before you see the best of him. Just because you don't play the first 15, 16, 17 games in your first year. I played one in my first year.
Anyway, Jack Lever, Mitch McGovern, Duday and Mackesy were all defenders.
Yep.
None of them are at the club.
Well, you shed a few too, though, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. Sunday's game will be decided by the midfield. I know we've not got that midfield. Let's hope the Crows midfield can do it. Sadly, I think that ship sailed. And Matty Nix can coach. This is the kicker before we go to the callers. Matty Nix can coach. Imagine if he had a talented midfield at his disposal right now. And I'm saying between 14 and 19, they were the mistakes. And if they had have just maybe tripped over a couple of those little squirrels, it'll look totally different. And I think you build flags, as North will, as Hawthorn are, as Fremantle did. I told you, Fremantle and Crows started their rebuild at exactly the same time.
And quickly,
whose midfield do you want?
Yeah, but in 17, you thought you could go again. You go and get Gibbs. It doesn't work. That's how close it is.
Okay.
If you win and you go again, then history's made.
Well, that's true too. Hello, James.
How you going, guys? All right? Listen, I'm so disappointed the way the Crows picked their team for this weekend. How can Nix be in the last few weeks pump up Dan Curtin, who's going to get a time in the run this year in the team, play him in the A's yesterday in the teams for the selections, and then put him as an emergency? I cannot understand how this club can do this to a player and then they expect them to stay here the following years, but they're not given the proper chance to show what their talents are. Can you make me understand why they cannot put these guys in the team when we have to try them out? They have to do something. We're not playing finals. I want to go to the game. I was looking forward to going to the game to see Dan Curtin have a run, because to me he'll be like a Patrick Cripps as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, James, look, let's start with Daniel Curtin. Apparently he's a lovely lad. He's not going to leave because he's not getting played. He knows he's got to work on his game. He's done that. I thought, like you, and a lot of the callers and the text line's gone absolutely in meltdown, he was ready.
It was a great opportunity.
Now, I'm sitting on selection, I'm Matty Nix, and I'm thinking, well, we can win this game. Of course you do. You go in every game winning. All week they've said, well, mathematically we're a chance. So is the Tooth Fairy. In my opinion, well, it is. They're no chance. Well, come on, let's be real. Let's not beat around the bush. So I'm sitting here balancing it all up, sitting on selection, or I'm Matty Nix, put my Matty Nix hat on. I'm going, well, I want to win. Of course you do. What's going to make us win more? Well, we've got too many lads in there at the moment. We've got Curtin, we've got Bond, we've got Dowling, if we put another one in, it might just tip us over. We need a bit of experience. We need a bit of grunt. So I want to win. Of course you do. And when you're a selector or a coach, the number one thing is to pick the team that's best going to help you win. Now, Dan Curtin, to me, in with Himmelberg out and 3 tools, not the 4, would have been how I went. They didn't. Let's just see how it goes.
And a Hawthorn forward line who was all small bar one.
Yeah, well, they put Chase Jones in there for that, didn't they? I didn't think Chase Jones was coming in this week.
Keep having your say.
Anyway.
8223 0000. We've got a Rusden Blackgut Shiraz to give away for the best caller tonight. Eddie McGuire coming up from Channel 9. He's live in Paris for the opening ceremony. He'll join us after the news.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Whether you're in the market for a small, mid or large Toyota SUV, your journey starts at the new Jarvis Toyota, Brighton Road, Somerton Park. Walk through their brand new state-of-the-art undercover showroom for new and demo vehicles in stock across the range. Yaris Cross, Corolla Cross, RAV4, Kluger and Land Cruiser. Your Toyota SUV journey starts at the new Jarvis Toyota, Brighton Road, Somerton Park. Proudly celebrating 23 years of great deals.
It's Milton from Vidaulis Garden Centre. This Sunday, Vidaulis Garden Centre is closing its doors for the final time. All stock must be cleared at up to 50% off. Save on plants, pots, save on gifts, homewares and outdoor furniture. Vidaulis Garden Centre is closing down this Sunday. Come in and grab a bargain while stocks last. Main North Road, Gawler, opposite the racecourse.
But when you're experiencing an injury or a health emergency, Rowey, every minute counts. And if your emergency can't wait, neither should you.
Calvary has been caring for South Aussie since 1900, including at South Australia's newest hospital, the Calvary Adelaide, home of the state's only 24-hour private emergency department. I was born at Calvary, North Adelaide.
Well, if you need a fast and expert treatment, they're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with shorter waiting times, personalised attention from your experienced specialists and nurses, and comfortable state-of-the-art facilities.
So that little fact bit I gave you, that was in the book of you just didn't care.
Couldn't care less where you're born.
Could not.
I was at Rose Park and they don't even hospital anymore. Everyone's got a story to tell, son.
Well, I'm pumping up the Calvary. I love it. As a privately owned, non-government funded emergency department, an out-of-pocket fee means you're getting the highest level of care. Now, when you or your loved one needs emergency care, trust in the emergency department at Calvary Adelaide. No lining uppy, you go straight through, and that could save a life.
Absolutely.
I say to Jody, get me into Calvary. I was born there, but the new one down here, not that one, this one, 120 Angus Street, Adelaide. Jody, get me to 120 Agnes Street, Adelaide.
Local news and information first. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
A possible shower tonight down to 8, showers easing tomorrow 13. With the 5 o'clock news, I'm Mel Usher.
Sandford's powerhouse clubs Glenelga Norwood clash at 2:10 this Saturday at Stratorama Stadium. Sandford, nothing beats it.
The youth court has heard a 14-year-old boy charged with extremist offences allegedly accessed material at school. The teen was arrested yesterday by counter-terrorism detectives. The court also told the boy is willing to perform terror acts and is a threat to the community. He'll remain in custody ahead of a bail hearing next month. A 15-year-old girl from Country SA has been admitted to hospital with meningococcal disease. Her condition is described as stable. It's the state's 15th case this year. Well, a man has significant injuries after being hit by a car at Woodville Gardens this afternoon. The 75-year-old was struck at the Hanson Road First Avenue intersection shortly before 2. Almost 31,000 drivers have been snapped by SA's new mobile phone detection cameras in their first month of operation. Alarmingly, 836 motorists were caught using their phones on 4 or more occasions. At this stage, they're only being sent warning letters, but that will change from mid-September. Superintendent Darren Filkey says the figures are shocking.
The site at Regency Park saw the highest raw number of people being detected committing offences. That was 9,620. And the site at South Road at Torrensville, proportionally against vehicle volume, was the highest site with 6,872 letters having been sent.
No more mandatory COVID-19 vaccinations for SA health workers. Staff were required to have at least 2 doses when the policy was introduced in October 2021, but it has now been scrapped in recognition of the changing environment. Leah Watkins from the Ambulance Employees Association says it's a logical step.
I think it's a reasonable transition from where we were previously initially in an unvaccinated population to now a predominantly vaccinated population.
Around 245 employees refused to have the jab and lost their jobs, including intensive care nurse Denny Van Hagen, who challenged the state's mandate in court but lost. Former New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian has lost a legal bid to have corruption findings against her overturned. More from Rhiannon Solomon-Marin.
Gladys Berejiklian had been seeking a judicial review of ICAC's ruling. She'd argued the watchdog's Assistant Commissioner's term in office had expired before the report was released, making the findings invalid. The body found the former Premier engaged in serious corrupt conduct over funding decisions she made while in a secret relationship with Wagga Wagga MP McGuire. A 2-1 majority of the New South Wales Court of Appeal has dismissed her bid with costs. Ms Berejiklian resigned as Premier in 2021 when the probe was handed down.
And after 104 shows, Billy Joel has wrapped up his Madison Square Garden residency in New York. It started in January 2014, the singer-songwriter calling the decade a dream come true. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Experience luxury at the Firm Gentlemen's Club, where sophistication meets indulgence. The Firm, North Terrace.
It's Port v Carlton at Marvel Stadium tonight. The round 20 opener will be live on 5AA. Port's GM of footy, Chris Davies, has told Rowey and Tredders the race for the top 8 is heating up.
Yeah, the reality is our season is in a position where we're in a pack of teams that are going to distinguish themselves over the next few weeks. So we've got a great opportunity tonight.
Adelaide has finalised its team for the clash with Hawthorn at Adelaide Oval on Sunday afternoon. Taylor Walker returns after being managed last weekend. James Borlase and Chase Jones are also in. Daniel Curtin, Josh Worrell and Ned McHenry are the emergencies. Assistant coach Jack Hompsch says bring it on.
And we've just got to make sure when they challenge us, because no doubt they will, that we can halt momentum, which we've been working on the last couple of weeks.
And the pressure on Australia's swimmers is building ahead of the first night in the pool in Paris tomorrow. 3 Olympic champions will be looking to defend their crowns. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Afternoon, still got that smash to look out for at Kent Town. Twisted traffic like there too, causing delays. That's at the intersection of Kettleville Terrace and Bartels Road. Still cleaning up after the earlier collision of Windsor Gardens 2 North East Road near Pittman Road. Sluggish right now, Anzac Highway at the Morford Road area, just near McDonald's. And got cameras to look out for Dawes Road, Door Park and McGill Road at McGill. New to IJ's baby range, Baby Boo Nappy Pads, 21 to 23 pack varieties, $9.50. IGA, where the little locals matter. Prices are RRP at participating stores only. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Down to 8 tonight with a possible shower. Showers easing for your Saturday 13, Sunday cloudy and 14, Monday sunny and 15. Right now it's 16 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Kate Collins. Tonight, Adelaide's mobile phone detection cameras. 31,000 drivers busted in the first month, some of them over and over again. The images that will shock you. Plus the disturbing case of an SA teen facing terror charges. Hero neighbours rescue a couple from an Elizabeth Grove fire. And we're live to Paris ahead of the opening ceremony. 9 News, your news. Nightly at 6 on 9 and 9 now.
So what were you saying about battery-powered garden tools over petrol ones?
They're often lighter, less noisy, and some battery-powered tools give the petrol ones a run for their money now.
Oh, and Stanford's got battery-powered mowers.
Heaps. And trimmers, blowers.
So why haven't you replaced the old petrol ones?
I'd never remember to charge them. What's that?
This? Oh, just a little battery rotation chart I made. What colours do they come in?
You're the best, hon.
Stanford Mowers, 590 Main North Road, Jeps Cross. StanfordMowers.com.au.
Wella, everybody's gonna buy Hoyt spices. Everyone's gonna save $1 or $2. Everybody's gonna buy Hoyt spices, yeah.
Hold on, Hoyt's sell more than just herbs and spices. Tickle your taste buds with Hoyt's pickled vegetables. The Jardiniera pickled garden salad. Australian hot chilies in vinegar. Hoyt's gherkins, capers, sun-dried tomatoes, Kalamata and green stuffed olives. You'll be happy with Hoyt's at Coles, selected Woolworths and all good independent supermarkets.
Hoyt's spices, yeah.
Feel good health catch on with Bupa. Get up to 10 weeks free when you join Bupa on eligible products. T's and C's apply. For award-winning health insurance, search Bupa 10 weeks free today.
The news and issues that matter to South Australia. Always Adelaide. This is 5AA.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
7 minutes after 5, it's our Footy Friday. Tredders is here, Timmy G's back on Monday. Still to come on the show, Jade Rawlings, the Norwood coach, ahead of the Bays Norwood game tomorrow afternoon. That's going to be a cracker. Make sure you head on down 210 bound, Sandful, nothing beats it. We have Terry McAuliffe with his racing tips toward the end of the show, and we'll relive some of KG's 85th birthday celebrations from earlier today. And we have that bottle of Rusden Blackgut Shiraz still to give away, so your best call of the night, 8223 0000.
Well, it's the Paris Olympics, live and free on Channel 9 Gem 9 now. Every Olympic event is streamed live. There's free replays. Cannot wait. 2:30 tomorrow morning. Joining us is 9 host of the opening ceremony. He's live from Paris. Bonjour, monsieur, Eddie McGuire.
Good morning, guys. Good morning over here, at least. Good afternoon over there. And how was KG's function? I was supposed to go to it, but I'm over here.
It was absolutely brilliant. He is 85, still entertaining. The Trailblazer is the reason we get to sit in these chairs over here, Eddie. He's unbelievable. He's ageless.
Yeah, he's a beauty. No, I was really disappointed to miss out, so please send him my regards.
Will do.
But, sounds like it was a great time. Good on you, boys. Yeah, well, we're getting ready to have the opening ceremony in KG's honour here later today.
Yeah.
Decide to move it out of a stadium and put it in the water.
So paint a picture.
Exactly.
Who's performing? Because I look at it, they're going to be on. They're going to be on boats up that river. Did they not learn anything about the 2022 AFL Grand Final parade?
Well, I think they've been inspired by it, and so we should have leaned into it at the AFL. It was a good idea. They just didn't execute properly, like a lot of things they do at the AFL. They get halfway there. Don't forget we did it at the Commonwealth Games. Remember, Barras walked up the Yarra.
Yes.
But this will be a bit different, I think. It's going to be huge. Now, we don't know who's doing anything yet. That all happens on the when it actually happens in front of you. They keep it a closely guarded secret. It's all been put together. I can tell you the security has been unbelievable. We had, I think it was Jill Biden was in our hotel yesterday or nearby, and the security, they've locked down the entire River Seine for the last 3 weeks.
Wow.
You walk through, we were having some dinner the other night, and about 18 army, loaded to the gills with machine guns and rifles and ammunition, the heads swivelling as if they were coming through. It was like you're back in 1945 again. It was unbelievable just to see how much artillery they've got on the ground here. So they're not mucking around with any of the security, that's for sure. But the build-up is great. It is Paris. It's got the magnificent facilities and, the historic areas for all the different things from the equestrian through to the skateboarding and everything in between. So it's really coming together beautifully.
Eddie, you're there as close as anyone, obviously speaking to the Aussie contingent. How confident are we for gold medals?
Well, this could be one of our greatest ever Olympic Games, apart from the home Olympics, of course. And, there's some talk of anything between, 15 and 20 or 12 and 20. Opening night, we're going to get stuck in it. We've got Jess Fox in the canoeing, and then she'll go into the kayaking. And then we've got, of course, the swimming. We've got Sam Short and also, of course, I'm just trying to think who else. Whittington is in there as well in the men's 400. But don't forget, we've got Ariane Titmus in the first night up against the two superstars. So that's going to be fantastic in the 400 metres free. And we've got the 4x1 in the men's and the women's in the opening night. So we've got some real chances right off the bat. It's going to be absolutely fantastic.
Can we get a little bit more of an insight into the opening ceremony? Because we'll be up at 2:30 this morning watching it on 9 Live. You'll be hosting it. It culminates...
No, I'm hosting it, so I can't give you any more insight.
Oh,
I'll help you with the closing ceremony and everything in between. But no, they've actually got... they don't tell you anything other than, it's coming down the Seine. And, I hosted it in London, and that's what happens. You get a Bible... basically a couple of hours beforehand, or, they've probably got it now, to be honest, to be working on it. And that gives you an insight into all the historical and the symbolic aspects of what they're doing and what's going past and who's there and all that type of thing. So, no, it's a closely guarded secret even to this stage.
I bet you any money it finishes at the Eiffel Tower. There you go. That won't need to be in an Eiffel.
Yeah, well, we know that, because it's coming down the Seine, so...
Yeah.
So as they say in the swimming, everyone will be undeterred as they swim across the Seine River.
Is it that dirty? Have you dunked your toes in it?
No, we can't get near it, as I said, because of the security. But as I mentioned, but look, put it this way: they banned people swimming in it 100 years ago, almost to the day of the last Olympics, and there's been a few come and go since then. So they don't want any rain. They've got the equal eye level down. For people like us who, for me, it lives in Melbourne, it's akin to wanting to swim in the Yarra, I reckon. So, that might have been a good idea for Jim Courier until he turned green. It's one of those things. They've got the triathlon's going to be there and the open swimming. But, geez, I tell you, they'll have a world record in the swim event, I reckon. No one will want to be in it for that long.
Come out with an extra ear.
Blue algae bloom.
Exactly.
Eddie, and shoot me down. You've said there's a lot of security there. I'm not fearful. I'm nervous that the Parisians will treat this the way it deserves to be treated, which is the Olympics. I don't know. I don't know why I'm nervous, but just seeing all the things before the event and now that we're finally here, the opening ceremony, I just hope it goes through the entire 2 weeks without any drama or any problems with, what I'm alluding to.
Well, look, it's as simple as this. They are well prepared. I mean, what Paris wants to do is rebuild the Olympic Games. We've had, I've had a couple of dodgy, venues in the past, and we had the COVID at Tokyo. This is the opportunity for the Olympics to come good. 100 years after the 1924 Olympics, their first Olympics in 1900. It was set up by a Frenchman, Baron Pierre de Coubertin, in 1896. The reboot, if you like, of the modern Olympiad, and they want to show Paris and France as a sophisticated, world-leading European country. We've had all the dramas of Europe with Brexit and also the Ukraine, all these things going on. So, Paris are here to sell themselves, so they're right to go. But, there's also the other side of things, that we are in the midst of, the Russians have been banned, so will they have a crack at doing something, even if it's, as far as hacking into different things. They had the Israeli athletes the other day. The first thing they did, they were booed by certain sections of the crowd, and some big Muslim community here in France these days. So there's a lot of socio-economic issues and geopolitical issues going on at any stage. We've seen this over the years. I mean, even to the point where Adidas, did a retrospective on their 1972 gear without thinking about the Munich massacre and, the Arabs and the Israelis at that stage. So, you don't need to go too far off the track to find somebody who will pick something up over the years. So there's a lot of history that goes through these places, and if you're looking for something to nitpick over, you'll find it. But having said that, I can tell you that Casey Wasserman, who's running the LA Olympics, made this point. He said that Paris has got the most magnificent facilities. You've got the equestrian at the Palace of Versailles. You've got the skateboarding at the front of the Eiffel Tower and the beach volleyball. And you've got all these magnificent places, and it'll look magnificent. And he said, and then in 4 years' time, let's hope that Paris, rekindles the love and the excitement of the Olympics. In 4 years' time in LA, he said, we've got everything built already. We've got over 4.5 years to get the show right. And that's what we'll do. We'll put a show on. And, of course, we hope that Brisbane will do something good in the next 8 years. So, look, they're not taking this by half measures. They've spent a fortune, a lot of it public money, not just private money, and the sophistication of the French and Bernard Arnault and all these sorts of people have put millions and millions and billions of dollars into this. So no, they're not taking it half-hearted at all. And look, I think the other great thing is the athletes themselves. There's a lot of long-time world records that could go at these games. That's almost like the next generation has come through. And, it's going to be fantastic, starting with the swimming with us, doing, hoping to do so well, the Australians. And, so many sports we're going to do well in. And then on the track, it's going to be unbelievable. Jessica Hull recently and Nina Kennedy in the pole vault, Nicola Slayers and and the likes in the high jump and all sorts of different people around the place. It's just sensational.
Well done. Well, let's keep the politics out of it, make it safe and friendly.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's going to be that. I'm looking forward to that, Eddie. Hey, Pies.
It's going to be here. So it's just a matter of let's hope that we can get on top of it.
No, well done. Before we let you go, we can't speak to Eddie McGuire, Channel 9's host of the Olympics coverage, which will be tomorrow morning our time. Pies lose to Richmond. You're done. You're one and done. One and done, Eddie.
I think they're nearly done as it is. Look, I think they want to beat Richmond, and I think there's a good opportunity for Collingwood though. The next 2 weeks, they've got Richmond and Carlton, and Scott Pendlebury's 400, and this is a good team. Had bad injuries and different things throughout the course of the year, and had a lot of luck last year and haven't had much this year. Have had periods where they look like they could win it again and periods where they look like they could finish 14th. So it's a big opportunity for them. Come out tomorrow and get stuck into Richmond, or Sunday, get stuck into Richmond, and then take on Carlton next week, put them out of the top 2 and have a great win for Pendles. And you never know, it might rekindle a run to the finals if everything goes right. But no, I think, I thought they struggled after the Essendon game. I'm not a huge rap that Essendon's much chopped, to be perfectly honest. And, I just thought they allowed Merritt to get away from them in that game. But it'll be interesting. I mean, the Bombers are the ones. I mean, they're no certainties to win anything on the way home either. If St Kilda knock them off this week, then it's all over.
Yeah,
as I said the other day on my podcast with Jimmy Bartels, we call them the CFMEU these days. They keep building, but they never finish.
Oh, Eddie,
Cheap
that is funny.
too.
Hey, on that note, Eddie, you stay safe. Enjoy. We can't wait to hearing you at 2:30 tomorrow morning.
That's called a deflection, boys, away from Collingwood. Not there.
Well done, Eddie. Love your work, mate. Great work.
See you, fellas. Go to your
Well done.
See you, mate.
Eddie McGuire there, live and free. It's on Channel 9, 9Gem and 9 Now. He's always generous and giving of his time. He's live in Paris as we speak. Every Olympic event streamed live, free with replays, and every big Australian moment will be on 9 Now. Brought us Eddie McGuire.
Will be an amazing night. Oh, it's a good
That is a good gag.
19 minutes after 5. Let's check your traffic.
G'day there, a Brooklyn Parker crash to look out for. Airport Road near the fire station. Highbury, another collision there. Historic Drive near the reserve. Another smash at Windsor Gardens, North East Road near Pittman Road. Kent Town, twisted traffic light due to an earlier crash at the intersection of Decateville Terrace and Bartels Road. And look out for a camera on the drive home tonight, Grange Road at Grange. Dan Murphy's don't match prices, they beat them. Pirate Life South Coast Pale Ale, 355ml cans, 16 case, $44 for members. Ends Sunday. Choose to drink wise, T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G.
Catch all the action from the Olympic Games in Paris as 5AA brings you Nine's coverage live each evening from 11:30. Don't miss a minute of the action as our Aussie stars set their sights on gold medal glory. Tune in tonight following Leith Forest as we cross to France for Nine's coverage. Paris 2024, live from 11:30 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Eliminate the middleman with JB Caravans. JB Caravans are a factory direct caravan dealership and they're having their grand opening sale on now till Sunday. Check out full off-road hybrids from $79,990 and Aussie-made touring vans from $74,990, as well as incredible deals on off-road vans, Iveco motorhomes and cash and carry gear. Don't miss JB Caravans grand opening sale on now and Sunday, 11 to 37 Port Wakefield Road, Jeps Cross, or visit jbcaravans.com.au.
At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, we've launched out of the starting blocks and we're flying down the track with our huge demo clearance. All demos are going to race out the door, like Demo T-Rocks from only $35,990 drive away. We're first for easy on-site finance options and top of the podium for convenient next-day servicing with complimentary loan vehicles. Get in first for Mawson Lakes Volkswagen's huge demo clearance. Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city. Rego S22 3CYX.
Well, for most PC business brands, a 4-hour service guarantee means, they'll get back to you within 4 hours. But at Leader Systems, a 4-hour service guarantee at Leader's business range means they will come to your work site and they'll have you back in business inside 4 hours. That's amazing.
In such a competitive industry worldwide, this is one of the great success stories of South Australian business. This is a South Australian company, great family business. Leader Computers, they're made here in Adelaide with better service, support, speedy turnaround times. You dealing with people that live here, and when it comes to servicing or support, it happens in Adelaide. It'd be 2 of your drop punts straight up the road here. No overseas or interstate. Drop it in, get it back.
And that's what's amazing, because Leader Systems don't have to send anything off for repair, so you don't have that lag time. They take care of everything in SA and get it sorted, so they can provide that 4-hour service guarantee on their business range, and you have it back up and running inside 4 hours. So grow your business and get behind a Leader. Find your local Leader dealer at leadersystems.com.au.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Unfold your story with Galaxy AI on the new Samsung Galaxy Z series. The Galaxy Z Fold 6 and Z Flip 6 have big battery power for creating and playing. They both feature a slim dynamic screen that flips up or folds out. It has a new hinge, screen, powerful camera and Galaxy AI to drive on-the-fly language translation or edit photos. Pre-order the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6 and Fold 6 before the 31st of July and receive a $400 Harvey Norman gift card and 1 year of Samsung Care Plus valued at $229 via redemption. Prices start from $1,799 for the Samsung Flip and $2,749 for the Fold at Harvey Norman. Terms and conditions apply.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
Harris Scarf clearance sale is on now. That's right, massive clearance sale on now. Save big on bedding, kitchen, electrical and women and men's clothing. Deals won't last, so hurry before it's gone. Exclusions apply. Harris Scarf, great brands, great prices.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Timmy G back on Monday. It is 24 minutes after 5. It's your Footy Friday for Rusden Wines. We've got that Black Gus Shiraz to give away still. 8223 0000 the number. And we have KG. We heard him on Conversations with Cornsey earlier today. We'll play a little bit back if you missed it. After 5:30.
Yeah, a lot of people talking about the Crows selection, no Dan Curtin. Not a lot of people are happy about it, and they're all saying with 4 tools forward of the ball, Himmelberg, Thilthorpe, Fogarty and Walker.
Hope you clunk them.
Yeah, if they get it wrong, they're in all sorts.
They'll be chasing a lot.
Yeah. Hello, Patrick.
How you going?
All yours, Paddy boy.
Yeah, last weekend or the weekend before, I've been getting into the footy, and I downloaded the AFL app to follow the ladder.
Yep.
And when I downloaded it, it was pretty basic, setup, and it asked me if I was 18 or not to use the app. And I chose that I was 18 because I only assumed that they were just going to have heaps of gambling advertising for me.
So you made out you're under 18, did you?
Yeah, I thought I was under 18 because I just don't want to see all the gambling advertising.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, switch off. Back in the day, we used to have smoking. You didn't have to smoke. We got drinking ads. You
Did
don't
the
have to
Escort
drink,
Cup.
Drink responsibly.
Benson and Edges cricket.
People do get
Gambling.
frustrated with gambling ads and how prominent though it is.
Yeah, no, but on the AFL app, it's not. It's only the odds of who you don't have to bet.
But they've got all these rules, and you can't have it in competition.
I'm a director. I can't bet on AFL.
No, nor can I.
No, you can bet, but you can't bet inside the game. I can't bet anything to do with AFL.
An hour before, I don't think we can either, can we?
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying directors are cold turkey. Nothing.
Yeah, nothing at all.
Nothing.
Zero.
Yeah.
Okay. Paddy, thanks for that. Just switch off. I don't know what else to say. Let's go to Winvale. G'day, dudes. You big dude head.
Hi, dude. Yeah, I'm so confident tonight's not funny.
Oh, no.
I just think they're playing... No,
Rog.
don't play any songs.
Don't do a Stephen Rowe.
Right. Don't play any songs, dude. No,
come
I'm
on.
so
He can feel it.
Retract it, Rog.
No, he can. He can feel it.
Rog!
Oh, Trent's not happy.
Yeah, play it. I'm going to see Willie kick at least 4 goals tonight.
I love
and
Willie.
who's going to stop him, you know?
I love Willie.
I'm so confident it's not funny.
Good on you, Rog. You're not winning the Rusden Blackgut Shiraz for that. Unique home style food text. How's this one? Hi, boys. There can only be 3 reasons why they're not playing Curtin tonight. 1, injured. Well, he's not injured. So let's count that out.
Yeah.
2, not showing enough potential at first thought.
No, he's definitely
That's not the case.
Don't reckon it's that one because his last month has been really good. Or 3, he's told the club he's leaving.
Well, that's not true because he only got drafted last year.
Yeah, so there's got to be a 4th.
He's got a minimum 3-year contract.
Yeah, and that's right. John
they can
from
trade
Pratt,
him, but I doubt Adelaide's going to trade him.
He's not going anywhere. John, it's more likely this. Nixie's still chasing a win, and he thinks the team he's got is better than Dan Curtin in it, and he still thinks they can make finals. They want to finish the season off strong, and maybe one more little Dan Curtin, let's call him inverted commas kids, I hate that term, but a young bloke with Bond and Dowling and Nankervis and Keane and all of that might be a bridge too far. Yep. I disagree. They should have played him. I think they've got it wrong. I hope they win. 4 tools, 4 to the ball, scares the living by jingos out of me, because at any one stage, one of them has to be on the bench.
Yeah.
Has to be on the bench. You're not going to play 4 of them. Nope. Well, if you count Riley the Ruckman Rob, that's 5.
Yeah.
They just can't do it.
You're the land of the dinosaurs.
I'm miffed. Hello, Ange from Kidman Park.
Get it. No, 2 wells now. It's all. Hey, listen, Rob, I'm a bit thirsty, mate. I'll just let you know that. Oh. Hey, I noticed that Vincentini flew over with the team, Tredders. Any update on that?
No, I don't have an update on that. What Port historically do, though, is travel at least 1, sometimes 2. If you go to Perth, maybe even 3 emergencies, and we've seen it where they've pulled them out of the sample team at the last minute. So I suspect he's going as insurance. Because if you look at Port's team, Lord was dropped, replaced it with Smalls, Lockie Jones and, sorry, I've looked at the wrong sheet here, and Farrell. So I suspect that because Sweetie's the only ruckman, that's a bit of an insurance one.
Yeah, so Vicentini's one of the emergencies. Dylan Williams and Ollie Lord were the other 2. So you just take your pick, don't you? 29 minutes after 5. We're going to take a break for the headlines. We'll hear from KG from his conversations with Cornsey after the break, and more of your calls as well. 8223 0000.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show. David Penberthy and Will Goodies, 5AA Breakfast.
Federally, it's going to be a reshuffle, and it's going to happen this weekend. The Prime Minister said there was a chance to refresh his ministry, promote new talent. Surely the Immigration Minister's in the frame, though, for a shift at very least.
Adelaide's leading breakfast show.
Certainly the chaos over the High Court's judgment, which led to the release of all of those ne'er-do-wells and scumbags, and the government clearly had no plan in place.
Weekdays from 6 a.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Good evening, Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. The Youth Court has heard a 14-year-old boy charged with extremist offences allegedly accessed material at school. Almost 31,000 drivers have been snapped by SA's new mobile phone detection cameras in their first month of operation. A series of arson attacks are disrupting train services across parts of France ahead of the Paris Olympics opening ceremony. And in sport, it's Port v Carlton at Marvel Stadium tonight. Now checking 5AA traffic.
G'day there, at Brooklyn Park, a crash to look out for. Airport Road near the fire station. Highbury, another collision there. Historic Drive near the reserve. And Kent Town, twisted traffic lights still causing delays from Elliott's smash at the intersection of Decathlon Terrace and Bartels Road. Slow for works at Teachery Gully, North East Road near Perseverance Road with the Camera Grange Road at Grange. Dan Murphy's don't match prices. They beat them. Shandon Brute Sparkling, just $20. Yes, just $20. Hurry and Sunday. Choose to drink wise. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, a possible shower tonight down to 8, showers easing tomorrow 13. Right now it's 15 degrees. We'll have more news at 6 and as it happens on 5AA.
Ageism takes away my rights, the right to make my own decisions, be safe and be treated with dignity and respect. Sometimes people assume I can't do something because of my age. They exclude me and I feel invisible and sad. Ageism can lead to mistreatment, neglect and other forms of abuse. How do you treat the older people in your life? For more information, search SA Health Tackling Ageism, a message from the Government of South Australia.
On the lookout for a new Nissan Qashqai? Look no further than Adelaide Hills Nissan. We've got stock available now at incredible prices with unbeatable Adelaide Hills Nissan service. Come see Tian, Simon and our local team at Adelaide Hills Nissan in Bridgewater. LMVD 325189.
Now, Tredders, you ready for a sneaky pizza pan delivery?
Well, I'd love to, but you've got to calm down, mate. Isn't that Tuesday?
No. Tredders, pizza pan is every day. It's open every day.
Yeah, I know
Let's
that,
hope right
but
now.
isn't our Pizza Pan Tuesday
Well, we do
when they
that.
come into AA?
We do, with Nettie.
Oh,
'cause
so I'm
they
getting
sponsor
mixed
him,
up.
But they do it all the time. Imagine this. They've got a variety of hot, fresh pizzas to choose from. Using in-house handmade dough, the best in Australia. All topped with premium SA produce. They seek it, they source it from around the state. My favourite's the pepperoni, super supreme, double anchovies, extra thick, and I can eat a whole one in about 4 minutes.
4?
Oh, 10. All right, half hour.
Got to get around it. Don't eat that quick. You'll get indigestion. But order for your family, your friends, or your footy club. That is the big one. Massive orders for your footy club on those social nights. Jump on to pizzaband.com.au or at Uber Eats. You can taste the difference.
Now, remember this. Just remember this. Pizza Pan Day is every day. Pizza Pan, they're the best.
Music of the Night, a spectacular celebration of musicals from Andrew Lloyd Webber, London's West End, Broadway and more. Music of the Night, coming to Her Majesty's Theatre, Adelaide, Saturday, August 10 at 2 p.m. Tickets on sale now. Don't miss it. Book at tickettech.com.au. Enjoy this sensational 2-hour matinee performance at Her Majesty's Theatre, Adelaide, 2 p.m, Saturday, August 10. Book now.
Over 50 and ready to dive into something amazing? This is for you. We're planning for your future with 2 new over 50s lifestyle resorts in Goolwa and Encounter Bay. With our vision for world-class facilities and endless activities, your next phase of life could deliver your best years yet with pools, gymnasiums, bowling greens and more. Visit our new display centre at 1 Banfield Road, Goolwa North, or check out lakesideresort.com.au or oceanviewresort.com.au. With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
26-6. Terry McAuliffe isn't far away with his racing tips. Jade Rawlings as well, the Norwood coach, will join us shortly ahead of tomorrow's game. Glenelg Norwood down at the Bay, 2:10. Sample, nothing beats it. Make sure you get down. It's where KG and Cornsey will be doing their show tomorrow, in fact, between 9 and 12. And earlier today, it was a big day for the pair of them, KG Cornsey. It was conversations with KG at the Kent Town Hotel. A really great experience for a lot of those listeners and clients and those who joined us today at the Kent Town Hotel. KG went through some amazing stories on his 85th birthday, and we thought if you'd missed it earlier today, we'd treat you with a little snippet from what's happened during that conversations, which was heard on air on 5AA. He reflected on some of his radio days.
Let's get onto the radio business.
Let's get onto the
how
radio
on earth?
business.
I mean, how on earth did you get this job where you've reigned over the radio?
No,
don't
go over the top. No, look, it was a Friday in 1977. I was offered in the morning. I've got to get this right. In the morning, I was offered to come out and coach because World Series cricket it hit 1977. Everybody had gone to Packer. And I was offered, Phil Ridings offered me, he was chairman of the selectors, offered me the captaincy of South Australia, which I accepted. He said, we'll make the announcement next Wednesday in our boardroom. He had an office in Kilwin Street. I've gone back, I was working for Noel Teasdale at the pub, and told him. And then in the afternoon, I'm having lunch with Noel, celebrating, and I've got a call from Marty Smith, who writes on this day in the Advertiser, could I come round and see Paul Linkson, who I knew through the association with the charities. I've driven around and walked up the stairs and didn't know what it was about. I sat down and he said, I've just returned from America, Ken. I've been on a tour of America to see what is making news in the world of radio. What's happening in America is that a sport talk drive program. He said it's gone gangbusters. Gangbusters. See how he interrupts me all the time?
I'm just trying to help.
Gangbusters. And he said, and I'm thinking, so why is he telling me this, for goodness? Why? I couldn't care less with being in America. He said, I'm going to introduce that sort of format on radio here at 5DN. And he said, I want you to host it for me. I said, what?
Now, I know you're going to go on with all the false. I have to interrupt you because we've got to move quickly.
Yeah.
Do you know did he ever tell you what he saw in you to offer you that job?
No,
the only public profile you had then, other than being a cricketer and an umpiring, was on the Channel 9 sports show.
Correct,
you came across as this
arrogant,
argumentative troublemaker.
He's my friend.
Now that's not the.
Don't you laugh, Frank Pangallo?
But that's not the person you are. But you, who brought that out of you? Who told you to carry on and behave like that? Because that's Paul Linkson's impression of you.
Yeah, Paul, when I accepted the job, spoke to me about all that, and he put me on the right tram, and so did Les Favon, my state government. But cutting a long story short, so I was offered the captaincy and the job. Went home and told San. Cut a long story short, we spoke about it, changed my mind 20 times. I got up Monday morning, so I had to tell Paul Linkson by the Monday morning. I'd made a decision. I'm going to take the state captaincy. I have it for 3 years. There's security. If I go to the radio, it'll last 5 minutes. So I said to San, as she came out of the bedroom, I said, San, I'm going to take the state captaincy. And she wasn't a volatile person, my wife, not at all. And she walked up to me, I was at the breakfast bar, and she walked up to the breakfast bar and she said, why don't you, for the first time in your so-and-so life, and she banged the desk, show some good old-fashioned so-and-so balls, banged the desk again, and take the so-and-so radio job. You've played cricket, you've done that. In fact, if you don't take the so-and-so radio job, don't come home tonight. So I took the radio job. True story.
And you were worried about the ratings. Well, he always worries about the ratings, folks. Even today, ratings day, he won't.
Well, I do. That's the lifeblood. I didn't even know then they had ratings.
What was the emotion like, the feeling like when you got the first notification of the ratings?
Well, I was down in the foyer talking to the receptionist, and one of our sales staff came down and said, Ken, Paul wants to see you in his office. And Jill said, oh, it's ratings day. And I thought, oh, God, here we go. I had no idea. And I walked into Paul's office. There was Marty Smith sitting there and Paul Links. And then I walked in. I broke out in a sweat, as Pat Gardner would know from Channel 9 over there. Broke out in a sweat. And he said, come in, Ken, sit down. And he said, the ratings are out, KG. I said, no, I didn't even know we had ratings, Paul. He said, and he got up out of his chair and he walked over to me and he said, congratulations, you just rated number one. I said, yeah, Paul so-and-so. He said, no, you're number one, 5AD. And I can't think of Grant Goldman, I think it was number one at the time on 5AD. And
you knocked him off.
And we beat him, yeah. Beat him.
And then there's this long career of ratings, high ratings, ups and downs.
Yes.
You left 5DN changed to an FM station.
Correct.
You were offered to come to 5AA. Now, you told me...
What?
The offer that you had to come to 5AA.
Well, yeah, it was amazing.
What year was that?
It was in the early 80s, and I was offered, and again, it sounds like I'm being a big head, but I was offered $1 million for 3 years.
$1 million? Kenny Dick and
to go to 5AA. Craig Munn would know the story. Money, boss there, $1 million, and I was running that morning with Hooksy and Andrew Pearce, my producer, down to the bay and back, and the amount of people that spoke to me about it. I went home and told San the story that I've been offered $1 million, love, and she said, "Hey, remember the man who gave you your first opportunity?"
And you didn't come.
And she said, "I don't think you should go to 5AA." I said, "San, it's $1 million. For 3 years, $1 million? I'm lucky to say $1 million, let alone earn it." And she said, "No, you've got to be grateful for the person who gave you your first job." I knocked it back.
Eventually you came, though, when 5DN changed its format.
Yep.
So to make it brief, over those years of radio, what the highlight?
Well, there's many highlights, Stud, but I think overall And I think back that I got an exemption from going to school at 12.
No, I'm talking about the radio. Not.
What do you mean?
The highlight of the radio. Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, got the exemption from going to school. Stuttered, couldn't talk, just to be lucky enough to be a person that's been so lucky to work for nearly 50 years in a media that I knew nothing about. And that's been an enormous journey. It's been an enormous highlight. I'm extremely grateful. And, you know, I still have to pinch myself along with the other thing that is close to me. That, having the opportunity to do that, the other thing was the day that I was asked to have the media centre at the Adelaide Oval carry my name. That'll be there forever. When I look at my two grandkids, when they grow up and have a family, they'll go into that room and they'll be able to say, this is named after their pop. But the only regret I've got of all that is the three people that made it possible will never know it happened. And that's my mum and dad and my beautiful wife Finn. They'll never know. But I've been blessed.
You're making it very hard to carry on flippantly with this.
The other thing was the day that I was asked to have the media centre at the Adelaide Oval carry my name. That'll be there forever. When I look at my two grandkids, when they grow up and have a family, they'll go into that room and they'll be able to say, this is named after their pop. But the only regret I've got of all that is the three
on
people.
Forever, but if you want to listen back, it's possible. On the Conversations with Cornsey podcast, which is online wherever you get your podcasts. So wonderful to hear KG on his 85th birthday. He'll be live tomorrow with Cornsey at 9 a.m. at Glenelg Oval, which is where they'll be doing the show. Jade Rawlings is going to join us, Norwood coach, ahead of that big game, the Bays and the Legs, after we check your traffic.
At Brooklyn Park, a crash to look out for. Airport Road near the fire station. Highbury, another collision there. Historic Drive near the reserve. And Kent Town, twisted traffic like due to an earlier crash at the intersection of Decathlon Terrace and Bartels Road. Slow right now for works at Mawson Lake, Salisbury Highway near Eldersmith Road with a camera at Brighton Road at Brighton. Kentucky Fried Chicken presents the new original crispy series. It's double breaded, it's extra crispy, and it's out now. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
G'day, it's Rory Sloane. For most business PC brands, a 4-hour service guarantee means they'll call you back in 4 hours. But at Leader Computers, a 4-hour service guarantee on Leader's business range means they'll come to your work site and have you back in business inside 4 hours. Leader Computers are made here in Adelaide with better service, better support and speedy turnaround times. Grow your business and get behind a Leader. Find your local dealer at leadersystems.com.au.
At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, we've launched out of the starting blocks and we're flying down the track with our huge demo clearance. All demos are going to race out the door, like Demo T-Rocks from only $35,990 drive away. We're first for easy on-site finance options and top of the podium for convenient next-day servicing with complimentary loan vehicles. Get in first for Mawson Lakes Volkswagen's huge demo clearance. Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city. Rego S22 3CYX.
Well, we have our favourites in life, but there's nothing better than a trip up the hill to the Barossa. Ancient soils, old vines, and plenty of those first-class red wines.
Been telling people for years about Rusden Blackgut Shiraz, which is my favourite, but they got the Ripper Creek, they got the Boundaries, they got the Sand Scrub, Christian.
What's the favourite?
Well, I love the Blackguts because I like a big ballsy red. But God, he's just a genius winemaker. And the family, they boast 7 generations of grape growing. So that's where they started. They've been in Vinevale, which is one of the best areas. The dirt is exceptional, better than anywhere in the world. Hence, the grapes are great. Hence, you get a good winemaker. Hence, the wine is outstanding. They're just great. But go there if you've got an interstate guest, an overseas guest, or just a friend, or you're bored one weekend. Winter's great. Go to their cellar door. God, the hospitality. I love them. It is, I mean, I know people, you're on the, no, I love them. Love them.
It's amazing, isn't it? Do yourself a favour and take a visit to the cellar door in the Barossa and make sure next red a Rusden.
Yes.
Check out rusdenwines.com.au.
Feel good health catch on with Bupa. Get up to 10 weeks free when you join Bupa on eligible products. T's and C's apply. For award-winning health insurance, search Bupa 10 weeks free today.
Stay warm this winter with Mac Trade Services. Take advantage of huge SA government rebates on reverse cycle air conditioners. If you are a concession card holder, you can get a reverse cycle Actron air conditioner from only $599, supplied and installed. That's nearly a 70% discount off the normal price. Get in quick while stocks last. Visit the Mac Trade Services office in Rose Park or call 1300 430 917.
Right now, the comfort of home and the safety of your family are more important than ever. Ken Hall Plumbers are here to help when you need us with essential plumbing, electrical and roofing services. Blocked toilet, no hot water, faulty gas heater or leaking roof. We'll take care of your home while you take care of your family. Working safely since 1983. Ken Hall Plumbers, 8364 5855.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
12 minutes to 6. Very shortly, Terry McAuliffe is rolling in with his tips from the weekend for racing.com. Lots of texts to get to shortly as well, but let's get to our next guest.
Oh, my mighty red legs, I love it. And since I reckon the Eagles of the Sturt lost, they have not missed. They have been superb. They take on Glenelg. It's the match of the round tomorrow. It's at the Bay, 2:10 kick-off. Jade Rawlings joins us, our coach, our premiership coach. Jade, welcome.
Thanks, boys. How you doing?
What has changed? Because I think since that Eagles and Sturt loss back-to-back, you haven't missed a beat. Your football's gone to the next level. So what were the learnings or the takeouts from those two losses?
Oh, we actually had a pretty good start. We got to that point of winning our first 7 and had a pretty stable team. And I think Woodville just were ready for us that round. I think that was one part of it. We lost Cootie, Kennelly and O'Neill all in that week as well, which put a bit of a stress to our midfield. So our midfield, I was just reflecting the other day, was quite inexperienced what we put out there. But overall, we got outplayed by Woodville in all facets. And then in Sturt, we hung in until halfway through the last and didn't really play anywhere near full capacity. So the bye came after that. It was a good opportunity to reassess and recalibrate what are the key parts of what we do and where can we improve our footy. So we've going to put a few things in place to try and improve that, and momentum is very powerful, and we've been able to get a good little block of form over the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, there's no star factor. I love that. I love your system. I don't even know if that's the right word, but you've got a real even spread of contributors. I look at the best, and from one week to the next, it's different.'re not reliant on 4 or 5 players. You just are such an even team.
Yeah, it's a good observation, Rowey. It's probably what we are really proud of is that we're not reliant. We've increased depth with how we've recruited, but also how we've brought people through our system. So 12-3 and Finn Hurd have been in our program for us. We've Finn for 4 years and 12-3 for 3, and then they emerged this year as Nord grown players. And then you throw Cootie in there and throw O'Neill in there. It's made a big difference. So the spread's important. Like Boyd's a star. Lowe's played to a high level. Callo's a key forward like him's important, but we've got a really solid back line in Donnelly, Tom Graham, Pierce Seymour, Jack Hurd, Ling, Brody Carroll, amongst Alistair Lord. So we've been able to spread the load of experience, and we don't rely, and that's an important feature, I think, to be successful.
Jade, Warren Tredders here, mate. Good luck. Big clash against the Tigers, 3rd v top. Both teams have obviously been really impressive and really successful last few years. What's going to be the difference in the game?
It's a really interesting question you asked because I don't know. I've got a lot of time for Glenelg as a club. They've been strong since I've been in Adelaide, Warren, so they've had a good record against us predominantly. So Snooks to 100's a big deal for their club. I think it's 5-year celebration of their flag in 19. So all those things, you guys know what it's like. The clubs can get really excited and surrounding those type of things that they've got a chance to perform. So their experience across the ground, like Max Brown's a star, been a great player in the comp. Chris Curran comes back. Snook's a good player. Lyons is a good midfielder. Matty Allen's one of the best players for the comp. And Bean's still at a high level. So when you reel off those names, there's still a lot of good players across the ground. So we respect how they play. We value similar things, and we've got some things that we think we can do to hopefully put a bit of stress on them. But what I love about our group is that we're not overly perturbed by ground size, opposition, conditions, or what round or what stage of the year we're up to. That we narrow our focus towards what's important each round, and we've been really proud of our group to be able to do that for most parts this year.
Well, you touch on the conditions. I tuned in last week on the 7 coverage between the Dogs, so you got up by 42 points. But talk about bring back the good old-fashioned bog of an oval. The parade was a very muddy affair.
It was interesting. We played on Sunday, and I watched the Geelong Bulldogs game on Saturday night, and one of the players said it was unsafe to be playing on Convinia Park. I thought, fair go, boys. It was a bit old-fashioned footy in the parade last week, and we copped a hailstorm about 10:30 before our reserves, and I've never seen our ground look like it. At 10 past 11, there were puddles all over the wing and genuine slop for the reserves game. And thankfully, with a bit of sun and wind, it came through, and it wasn't too bad for ours. But I love that part of our competition. It's a winter sport, and each ground presents its own challenges. And ours certainly presented that for both teams last week.
All the best, Jade. Keep up the great work. Thanks for your time. Jade Rawlings there, Nord Footy Club coach. Glenelg Nord, match of the round, 210. It's down at the Bay. He's done a terrific job. Just on that, before we go to our next caller, Colin, Harry Boyd's the ruckman. He was in our state team for a number of years. 17 clearances.
Workhorse he is.
Crazy. 17 clearances.
And he gives away height every week, doesn't he?
Oh, God, he's done a great
28
job.
contested positions too, or something.
30 touches.
You know what I loved about that bog? The full forward had to take an extra 10 metres because he didn't want to kick through the mud.
Oh, I used to love that oval.
Slippery underfoot. Going, what's going to happen here?
Best suburban ground in the world. Let's go to Waldenalunga. Hello, Cole.
Oh, how you going, fellas?
Cole.
I've got to pick you up on a thing. You really missed a very good gag.
No, we didn't.
From Eddie McGuire.
We got it. Tell us it.
No, you got the last one. There was some gag you said about... what was that last one you said about?
CFMEU.
Sorry?
The CFMEU.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, no, you got that one. That was a good one too.
Yeah.
But,
well, what was the other one, Cole? You can't even remember it. Couldn't have been that good.
The River Send.
No, I couldn't remember the CFMEU one. But the one I do remember is when I think there's swimmers swimming underneath the sand. And you know what Eddie McGuire said?
What?
They're going to do it undeterred because the sand's the filthiest river in Europe.
Boom. Does he get a Russell's?
No, not for that.
Cole, you couldn't even remember
Give yourself an
Got to
uppercut,
get the gag
Cole.
straight off the top,
Let's do this. Thanks, Cole.
I love our
Timmy
Rowey.
and Terry's tips.
Rowey asked Eddie about 15 different times what the rundown was, and
He
couldn't
had no
tell us,
idea.
but Tuggers has got it here.
He's got the whole rundown.
want.
He's hosting it.
Tuggers is hosting it for
Hang on,
nine
let's
now.
just get Terry through.
Hello, Tez.
How are you, boys?
Your Blues are cooked tonight, Tez.
Oh, hang on. Hang on. Tez, I do apologise. My co-host Timmy's not here, but he has texted me a couple. So we'll get to the footy later. This is about racing.com. Give us a couple of winners.
Well, it's the last day of the racing season tomorrow as far as metropolitan meetings are concerned, because the racing season goes August 1 to July 31. So the training premiership, firstly, we've got 2 training partnerships locked together. Richard and Chantel Jolly, father-daughter combination, who have won the premiership the last 2 years, but they're equal with Will Clarkin and Nikki O'Shea. Now, I've tipped Will and Nikki to win 5 races tomorrow, so I do think we're going to get a new champion training combination this year. So 2 of those winners are the 2 I'm going to give you right now. Race 6, number 6, Boognish, with Jamie Carr to ride. So they've actually brought Jamie across to the Will Clark and Nikki O'Shea yard to ride 3 of their runners tomorrow.
Yep.
I'm tipping her on race 6, number 6, Boognish, and I do like in the final race of the day, number 14, Desert Dancing, at a bit of value. The feature race is race 8, the Lightning Stakes, and Jamie's riding the favourite there for Will Clark and Nikki O'Shea once again, Kira Yanagi. And just one other thing I wanted to mention, Rowey, race 7 tomorrow is the happy retirement Peter Jolly. So Peter Jolly, he's not renewing his trainer's licence for the new racing season going forward. Had a terrific career in his own right, but of course he is the father of Richard and David Jolly, both outstanding trainers in this state. So well done to Peter on a terrific career.
Yeah, that is a great career. Timmy G texts me in race 7, number 2, Hard Prince, which is an R&C Jolly nag. $2.90 favourite, I know. but that's a good chance. That's from Timmy. And he's also got a special for a bit of value, $34, race 9, number 6. It's called Dragon Face, and he's been on holidays for a week on the guts, and he's ended up with Dragon Face. Now, Tez, we're hard up against the 6 o'clock news.
Yeah.
Are you fearful tonight? Are you confident?
I am.
You're a mighty Carlton man.
Yeah, look, I am nervous. Our form hasn't been great. We had back-to-back losses, but against good teams, GWS and the Western Bulldogs, but we struggled to beat North last week, and I do know that Port have won 11 of their last 13 under the roof at Marble Stadium, so I am a bit nervous.
So can I make you a little bit more nervous now, Terry, because there's some news breaking out of Melbourne. Harry McGuire is out with a virus.
No.
He's woken up sick.
Don't even tune in, Tez. Do not listen to Double A, because it's going to be tears for you.
Yeah, he's woken up sick and I'm feeling sick now as well.
Yeah, well done, Tez. Terry McAuliffe. Racing.com. So his best bet was race 6, Boognish. And Timmy's was race 7, number 2, Hard Prince.
All right.
You got one, Tredders? You a gambler?
No, stay out of it. I've seen Timmy on socials, though. He's with George Fiacci and he's with Roger Delaney. What could go wrong?
Oh, goodness. Hey, congratulations to Nick from Coromandel Valley. You have won our Rusden Wines Black Gut Shiraz of the night. You can go to rusdenwines.com.au. They are in the Barossa Valley, home of the Black Gut Shiraz, so congrats to you, Nick. And enjoy the opening ceremony tonight. It's at 2:30. There's lots to come. You'll hear it all on 5AA as well, as Nine's radio coverage continues over the next 2 weeks from 11:30pm. And we have the Port Adelaide game and Carlton coming up at 6:45, so stay tuned for 5AA football.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G.
Catch all the action from the Olympic Games in Paris as 5AA brings you Nine's coverage live each evening from 11:30. Don't miss a minute of the action as our Aussie stars set their sights on gold medal glory. Tune in tonight following Leith Forest as we cross to France for Nine's coverage. Paris 2024, live from 11:30 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Suzuki is celebrating 40 years of Swift with an all-new Suzuki Swift Hybrid. So, book a test drive today in Australia's best value hybrid, the all-new Suzuki Swift Hybrid, for fun's sake.
The way we connect with listeners is changing. Radio, podcast, streaming, in-store, and the way to connect your business with millions of Aussie listeners every week is at Amplify. August 27 and 28 at Jama's Restaurant.